What's up everyone, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video I'll be showing you all the features offered by the Realme 3. By the way guys, I've already made a dedicated video for the tips and tricks section. Link for that is in the description. Definitely check it out. Now the first best thing about this phone is definitely its processor. This phone sports a MediaTek Helio P70 processor with Mali G72 MP3 GPU. It's an octa-core processor with 4 Cortex-A73 cores and 4 Cortex-A53 cores. These are the Antutu and Geekbench cores. Purely in terms of raw performance, it can be compared with the Redmi Note 7 and even the Redmi Note 7 Pro. So when it comes to performance, this phone is packing a lot of punch and it is quite powerful. Now the next best thing about this phone is definitely its display. This phone sports a 6.22-inch IPS display with HD+ resolution with the new 19:9 aspect ratio, water drop notch, and 88.3% screen to body ratio. It is also protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 3 for protection. Specs aside, picture quality of this display is pretty good, even sunlight legibility is pretty good. Now the next best thing about this phone are definitely its cameras. On the rear, this phone sports a dual camera setup with a 13MP primary camera with f1.8 aperture and a 2MP secondary camera for depth sensing. That's to take portrait shots. On the front, it has a 13MP camera with f2.0 aperture. These are some sample pictures. Cameras on this phone are definitely the best in the price segment. Going on next, this phone also comes with a super fast fingerprint scanner. As you can see, fingerprint scanner on this phone is super fast, like it unlocks the phone almost instantly. You just have to place your finger on the fingerprint scanner and your phone is already unlocked. We can also use the fingerprint scanner to unlock locked applications and the private safe. Next, this phone also comes with a super fast face unlock feature. Just like all the previous Oppo and Realme phones, even this phone comes with super fast face unlock feature and it unlocks the phone in a split second. In good lighting conditions, it is super fast, like we can't even see the lock screen. Even in low lighting conditions, it works really well and it is pretty fast. Now going on next, this phone comes with a new Android Pie navigation bar. Now just in case if you're bored with the same old 3-button navigation bar, with this phone you get the 2-button navigation bar, which we have been seeing with the latest Android Pie. So here's the navigation bar, you just get 2 buttons, home and back, and the rest area is completely blank. Back is the same old back button. You can press the back button to go a step back, you can press the home button to go home, you can swipe the home button up for recent apps, and finally you can swipe the home button left or right to switch between the applications. This is definitely a very intuitive way to use your phone. You might need some time to get used to the new navigation bar, but it's definitely way better than the previous navigation bar. Now going on next, this phone has a dedicated CHROMA mode. In the default camera application, you have a dedicated button or a toggle to turn on CHROMA mode, and once you turn it on, every picture you take comes out with saturated colors. These are some sample pictures. Now going on next, we have NIGHTSCAPE. Now once again, this is another camera related feature. It's a dedicated mode to take better pictures in low lighting conditions. As of now, results from this mode aren't that impressive. Next, this phone also comes with a dedicated face beauty mode for taking selfies. You can smoothen your skin, make your face smaller or thinner, you can reduce or increase your chin size, make your eyes bigger or smaller, and do many more crazy stuff like that. Now going on next, we can even take pictures and selfies using the fingerprint scanner. So to make it work, just enable the toggle that says fingerprint shooting in the camera settings, and once you're done, you can take pictures by simply touching the fingerprint scanner. This feature can be really useful while taking selfies. Next we have one-handed mode. Now if you think that this phone is pretty big and if you want to use your phone single-handedly, you can turn on one-handed mode by using this toggle in the notification area. Once you do that, screen size will shrink and you can use your phone much more comfortably using a single hand. Next, this phone even has support for dual 4G and dual VoLTE. Now this is a SIM card tray and obviously it has support for dual SIM, and along with that it has support for dual 4G and dual VoLTE. So you can use 2 SIMs in 4G or 2 SIMs in VoLTE, like even 2 Geo SIMs on the same phone without any issues. Next, this phone even supports native video calling. Here's a quick preview. Next, this phone has support for portrait mode for both the front and rear cameras. Now these are the sample pictures. Unlike most phones, we can still use Auto HDR while taking portrait shots, which is something we don't see on other phones. Next, we have some camera gestures. For both the front and rear camera, we have a very common gesture called tap to take picture. Just enable it and touch the preview window to take a picture. For the front camera, you also get the palm gesture. Just enable the feature and once your phone sees your palm, it will take a picture in 2 seconds. This particular feature is really handy while taking selfies. Next, it even has a dedicated SD card slot. Nowadays, most of the phones do offer a dedicated SD card slot, but for a phone with this configuration at this price, with all these features, it's quite rare. Next, it has something called real sound technology. Now, if you want to improve the audio experience on the headset, just enable real sound technology from the sound settings and you will definitely see a noticeable difference. Next, we have navigation gestures. Now, these are the navigation keys and like on any other Android phone, we have the back, home and recent apps button. On this phone, we can replace these buttons with navigation gestures just like the iPhone X or like the OnePlus 6 and the 6T. Most of the phones come with only one navigation gesture, but on this phone, we have 4. And my favorite one would be the first one. Once you select the first gesture, you can swipe on the left or right corners to go back, swipe from the center to go home, and finally, swipe and hold for recent apps. These gestures give you a much more immersive experience than your regular navigation keys. Now going on next, this phone has a very unique feature called Smart Sidebar. It is enabled by default, and this is how it looks like. You have some quick shortcuts, quick actions, and some quick applications. You can access it from anywhere. Even while watching videos or playing games in full screen mode, you can swipe near the notch area to bring it up. From here, you can quickly launch applications, take a screenshot, record the screen, block banner notifications, and finally open few applications in a floating window. Next, we have Assistive Ball. Now, just in case if navigation gestures are not really your thing, but you still want a much more immersive experience, you can enable Assistive Ball. Once you enable this feature, you'll see a floating bubble that can do multiple actions. Now first you need to select the operation mode. You have gestures and tap mode. I'll go with gestures. Now you can tap once to go back, double tap for multitasking, and touch and hold to go home. If you select tap, once you click it, you just get additional options, just like on the iOS devices. Now this is another way to interact with your phone and gives you a much more immersive experience. Next we have some screen off gestures, like double tap to wake, just enable it and double tap the screen to wake it up. Next you can draw a note to open the camera application. We can also draw a V to toggle the torch. We can also draw characters like greater than or less than for music controls. And finally, you can add custom gestures like you can draw a W to open WhatsApp, M for phone dialer, and so on. Next we have raise to wake. Now once you enable this feature, you can simply raise your phone or pick it up from a table and your phone wakes up and then displays the lock screen. Now, if you're already using the face unlock feature on this phone, you can simply raise your phone and then your phone will automatically unlock in an instant. It'll wake up, show the lock screen, sees your face, and then use facial data to unlock the phone. So using these two features together will give you a much more immersive experience. Next we have 3-finger screenshot. Now before I show you that, let me show you how to take a normal screenshot. On any Android phone, if you want to take a screenshot, press the volume down button and power button both at the same time, and your phone will take a screenshot. It is as simple as that. Now for some reason, if that's a bit difficult for you or if you need something more easy, you can enable this 3-finger screenshot gesture. Now once you enable this feature, you can simply swipe down using 3 fingers to take a screenshot. Personally, this is my favorite feature or my favorite way to take a screenshot, and nowadays most of the phones support this feature. Now going on next, we have long screenshot. Now to take a longer screenshot, first you need to take a normal screenshot. You can either use the buttons or the gesture. Now once you take a screenshot, you get this preview. Now click long screenshot. Now just scroll the page up as long as you want to take a longer screenshot. Next we have some smart call features, where your phone automatically answers the call when you place the phone near your ear, switch on the speaker when you move your phone away from your face, and finally mute the incoming call if you flip the phone. These are definitely handy and you should give it a try yourself. Now going on next, we have a super handy shortcut to trigger Google Assistant with the power button. Once you enable this feature, you can long press the power button to trigger Google Assistant. It's a nice feature and can be quite useful while using the navigation gestures, but I don't think this power button will last longer if you use it continuously. Next, we have an app lock built into the system, and unlike most phones, we can unlock locked applications either by using the password or the fingerprint scanner, and even by using the face unlock feature. So if you're already using face unlock feature on your phone, most of the time you won't even see the lock screen. Now because of this one particular feature, you can lock any application you want and you won't be inconvenienced in any way. Now going on next, you also have the option to record calls automatically on your phone. So to enable that, go to settings, then select system apps, then select calls. From here select call recording and then enable the toggle that says all recording to record all the calls automatically on your phone. Next we have Night Shield. Now once you enable this feature, it puts a warm tint on the screen and thereby filters the blue light. According to research, blue light emitted by our displays affects sleep at night. So to prevent that, we have this Night Shield mode, and you can enable it manually or schedule it to automatically turn on or turn off at a specific time. Next we have Startup Manager. Now just like the name suggests, it's a feature that allows you to stop applications from auto starting in the background. Now most of these applications automatically start in the background and then drain your battery life. And for the most part, just applications like maybe Instagram or WhatsApp needs to be allowed to auto start. So you can disable auto start permission for all these applications and further improve the battery life. Next we have Wi-Fi tethering. Now this is a very unique feature which allows you to share existing Wi-Fi connection to other devices. It's like your regular hotspot, but instead of using your mobile data, it will use your existing Wi-Fi connection. Now you might think this might not be a useful feature, but let's say if you're in an airport or a hotel where you have access to only one device or a Wi-Fi, then in that situation, you can share the existing single Wi-Fi connection to multiple devices. Next we have a security feature which protects your personal information. Whenever any application tries to read your personal information like messages, call logs and contacts, this feature provides fake data to those applications. Many applications on your phone try to read your personal information. Even Amazon does that. So using this feature, we can still use those applications safely without sharing your personal information. Next we have clone apps, which is a feature that allows you to use two instances of the same application. Like you can have two WhatsApp accounts, two Facebook accounts and two Instagram accounts on the same phone. This is definitely a very handy feature, but it is still limited to only very few applications. Let's say if I want to use two Paytm accounts on the same phone, we can't do that. Next we have Game Space. Now this feature or application just tries to improve your gaming experience and gives you a lot more cool features. Now once you add all your games to this Game Space and then open that game, your phone will divert all the resources to improve your gaming experience. It means faster game load speeds, better visuals, and more than that, it gives you the option for Do Not Disturb mode, where you won't be interrupted with annoying notification sounds or visual disturbances like banner notifications. You also have different power profiles to improve the performance or battery life. It also gives you the option to disable auto brightness, which is missing on many phones out there. Next we have split screen mode. Now split screen mode has been on Android for a very long time, but on this phone we have some more features. Now to start a split screen mode, or on this phone, you can also use the 3-finger gesture. Simply swipe up using 3 fingers to open the current application in a split screen mode. You can choose a secondary application from the list below. Personally, I like this gesture and I wish every other phone has it. Next we have automatic on off. Now this is another weird name for schedule power on and power off, and using these settings, we can automatically turn on and turn off your phone at a specific time. Next we have something called Smart Assistant on your default launcher or your default home screen. You can simply go to the leftmost corner to find the Smart Assistant, which simply displays weather information, calendar events, and some quick shortcuts. You can enable it or disable it from here. Now going on next, this one even comes with screen recording. I really don't know why you want to record your screen, especially on an Android phone, but for some reason if you want to record it, you can start it from the notification toggles, or you can also use the smart bar, which can be accessed from anywhere by swiping on the right side corner. You can stop recording by clicking the stop button on the floating bubble. Next we have Smart Energy Saver. Now this is another feature to improve your battery life. If you enable it, your phone will automatically manage all the apps running in the background to improve the battery life. If you disable it, you get the complete list of applications that are installed on your phone, and you can manually choose to block an application from running in the background. Next we have Smart Driving. This is another fancy sounding feature which simply gives you various features to manage calls and messages while driving. We have a similar feature on many other phones, but on this phone, we can automatically enable it or turn it on when you connect your Bluetooth in your car, or else you can manually turn it on if you have a bike. Next we have Kid Space. If your kid is troubling you about your phone, he wants to play some games, or maybe sometimes he accidentally purchases stuff, Kid Space can be quite useful for you. Once you configure this Kid Space, your kid will be able to only use specific applications that you choose, and he will be able to use your phone only for a specific amount of time. Once again, it's a nice feature, but if your kid already knows your password, it's completely useless. Next we have a feature called Anti-Harassment, which, as the name suggests, is a feature to block calls and messages. But unlike other phones, it gives you some additional options. Next we have Private Safe. Now this feature is more like an application or like a vault where you can hide all kinds of files. Just like the app lock, we can have a completely different password from your lock screen, and we can unlock it using your fingerprint or your facial data. Personally, I suggest you to use Gallery Vault. So guys, those were all the best features. If I missed out on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video, and make sure you check out my video on tips and tricks section. Link will be in the description. Now if you're planning to buy this phone, please use the link in the description. It always helps the channel, and if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter, and I'll try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.